Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from Kim.com. What do you see? When the Twitter account of the US president tweets on an hourly basis that the economy is strong, the banking sector is fine, and the future outlook is great, please understand that those are panic tweets. The opposite is true. The US fake economy and markets are dead. No liquidity. Now, I would say that this is just FUD, but ultimately speaking, we know that this is true. In fact, I do think that this has been true for a while. And honestly, when we look at what's happening around the US economy, we know banks are starting to become extremely fragile. And I do think that's the smaller banks that are suffering the most. And I do think that it's, very beneficial for the big four. I think that the big four are going to come in and swoop up all these smaller banks and, like always, become the major player in the game of monopoly. Because that's exactly what the US economy is. A massive game of monopoly that continues to make the rich richer and the poor, well, you already know what happens to the poor. They get screwed. But this is true right now. Like, well, we are seeing some banks starting to, lose quite a bit of money and becoming illiquid. I also think that we're going to start to see a lot of bailouts happening for the banks. For an example, we did see this report earlier yesterday, Credit Suisse, to borrow up to $53.7 billion from Swiss Central Bank. It is happening around the world. It's not just the US. This is crazy to me, though, because, what we are seeing here is the central bank coming in and essentially lending money to banks that are starting to dry up. That is pretty interesting. I mean, what could go wrong, right? Let's continue to borrow money as a big bank to essentially fill the holes in the boat when the leak is going to continue to leak and leak and leak. We are going to see a major collapse, much larger than what we recently witnessed with Silicon Valley Bank. It is just the beginning. And I do believe that everyone should be getting their money out of banks. I do not trust these banks at all. It does not matter what bank it is. I am getting my money out of the bank. In fact, a large portion of my money is already out of the bank. I mainly invest it into gold and silver as well as crypto. I do also have money tied up in a few other investment opportunities, more so business related as well as even real estate related. But for the most part, almost all my money is outside of the bank. I do have physical notes as well, but I am not trusting a bank at this current moment in time. I just do not. I don't. But also we do see over here the major banks. So I've been looking at this. I've been focused on this. In fact, we recently included this in a video from the other day when we start to see banks starting to collapse a little bit. They were in large double-digit figures, down like 60+%. And here we have the change in negative. I mean, we still have some positive. Don't get me wrong. Some are up a little bit, but as you guys do see, the gains are diminishing greatly for the banking sector. Most of these are in the red, and you can see some of them being down almost double digits right now. But even Citi, like down 5%, like this is actually pretty big. And if you look at Citi, for example, let's go to Citi stock real quick. So here we have Citi, and this has been in a downtrend for a while, but here is just from the 1st of March. It is down 16%. Insane. These are like some of the largest banks out there. And even if you go by market cap, look at the largest banks by market cap. JP Morgan, right? The number one, the big monopoly player, which again, I always focus on. Like this thing was, first off, it's still in a downtrend from October of 2021, mind you. And currently right now, this is down from, again, March 1st, about 12%. And this is interesting. It definitely is interesting. I think that banks are starting to become more and more fragile. And I think that it's only a matter of time until we start to see them continue to sell off in a major way. I mean, like we are seeing essentially liquidity drying up. We're going to see a liquidity crisis. It's been brewing for a very long time. I've been focused on this for a while on this channel. And we do see over here from Thinking Crypto 1, Anyone else see what is happening here? Smaller regional banks, some who were crypto friendly, get targeted via Operation Choke Point 2.0, and short sellers, short selling senators like Senator Warren contribute to bank runs, only for the big banks, JP Morgan, to conveniently come in to buy them up. And here we have from Charles Gasparino, with mid-sized bank stocks and financials continuing to tank, lots of merger speculation that involves First Republic. Possible buyer, bankers, and analysts say is JP Morgan, because the big bank is closely aligned, provides the warehousing for First Republic's loans, etc. And yeah, I mean, like, JP Morgan has always played the game perfectly. Listen, we know that there's so much corruption in the United States, and it all ties back to the big bankers. Even crypto being targeted, crypto being attacked. Guess who it's by? JP Morgan, the big banks. I mean, like, this is absolutely sickening. And you can see the games being played. It's Monopoly. Big game of Monopoly. And as the U.S. economy continues to, hit roadblocks and essentially, crash, if you will, we focus on what's going on outside of the U.S. with Russia. For example, Molly Elmore 22 posted this over on Twitter, and we do see Russia launching CBDC on April 1st. Plus, some Russian authorities are stating that the Bank of Russia is examining the possibility of a gold-backed coin that would target international commerce, which we've talked about this. This is essentially the BRICS new reserve currency. They recently did do a gold-backed currency. They were in the making of it. This could definitely be that. A lot of people will probably speculate that, XRP is going to be backed by gold, which is ridiculous, which we've debunked many times on this channel. But nonetheless, we do see our Bank of Russia to debut digital ruble in April of 2023. The first consumer pilot for the nation's central bank digital currency will be rolled out by the Bank of Russia on April 1st, 2023, as part of preparations for this day. And these transactions will include 13 local banks and many retailers, because this is, again, the first real-world digital ruble transactions. And they're going to be doing them with some of the largest banks within that area. And we do see a quote down here: we expect to begin the digital ruble project on April 1st, with transactions including individual transfers as well as payments in trade and service organizations. She went on to say that the financial institutions who were taking part in the pilot program had technically shown that they were prepared to begin testing the digital ruble, which is why, like I said, there's going to be the 13 local banks with many retailers in that area. So very interesting to see. It looks like we are starting to see a lot of plans being moved. And we do see, because of Western economic sanctions against Russia, the consumer CBDC pilot was pushed up to a date that was originally planned for 2024, but was brought up to date. That was earlier because the Russian central bank was seeking for an alternative to the SWIFT payment system. Interesting. So it looks like the new system is starting to really roll out very fast. And hey, no thanks to the U.S. for this. It's interesting, right? I love to see this, personally, because this is going to be economic. This is going to be an economic race towards a new system. Who is going to be the first? And it looks like Russia is going to be the first. And this gives me an idea, right? What we will see is the U.S. having to rush. They are going to rush to this. And I remember specifically the Federal Reserve saying, we will not rush a digital dollar. Well, guess what? They have no choice, because they are losing the financial war right now. We are in a financial war, and it's going to be the biggest one, because guess what? It is not just a financial war, it's a technological war. It's technology at hand becoming a major piece of the puzzle. And it's very interesting to see this, because, again, like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see this at hand. And guess what? Most of the public is not even aware of what's happening. Insane. Now, also, I do want to say that with the big banks and with everything happening, the U.S. continues to attack crypto through, guess what? Guess what they're using? Your bank account. Look at this. The U.S. government using crisis to choke off crypto access to banks. Brian Brooks. Listen closely to this video. It's about 1 minute and 17 seconds long.
Do you think anything will further happen with the bank situation, with the crypto-friendly bank situation in the United States? Do you think everyone eventually will just leave the U.S.? Or what of the situation of on and off ramps in the United States for banks and crypto institutions?
Yeah, I mean, look, my guess is that when you have demand that is as strong as it is, there will always be smaller banks that are willing to step up and try to risk manage this. So, you get rid of Signature Bank and you have Customers Bank, and you get rid of Customers Bank and then you have Coastal Com. I mean, there's always somebody who's going to serve this because there's a demand, and crypto's not unlawful. The question then becomes, how quickly and how committedly is the administration going to go after every single last one of those, and how will they answer to the 50 million customers who are looking for fiat on and off ramps? My belief is that they're trying to send a signal that will eventually choke this off. That's again what Operation Choke Point was. But you can't kill all of the animals in the zoo at some point. So my belief is there will always be somebody serving it. It would be better if larger banks with better risk management were serving the sector. But if they don't, there will be somebody doing that. And hopefully over time, as the asset class matures, people will get comfortable with it.
And remember what I said. Retail will be targeted. Listen, they don't want you to be a part of this market. I've said it time and time again. With what Ripple and XRP is doing, right? I shouldn't say Ripple and XRP. What Ripple is doing with XRP. They are targeting a specific industry. And it truly is like when we look at the SEC and when we look at the banking sector, okay? Go back to this banking. Let's look at JP Morgan. Okay, Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon is essentially the mob boss here, right? And JP Morgan Chase and Co. is like him and his group of bandits trying to go into, crypto and target this company, that company, this project, that project, to keep things under wraps. They want to control, right? JP Morgan and I believe the regulators are working together to stop out, or I should say, stomp out, if you will, the retail sector. Okay, they don't want retail getting rich. They also don't want crypto exchanges to be the ones that are custodying your coins. In fact, they want to be the ones that are selling you your coins. They want to be the ones making money hand over fist. Because guess what they do right now? They make money off of your transactions. They make money off of your money being in their bank. This is a never-ending loop. And it needs to be broken. The cycle of monopoly needs to be broken. The rich can no longer get wealthy off of our dollars. Something needs to change. We need to have a revolution. In my opinion, crypto is that. So when we look at what's happening around the US government, they have never been our friend. Banks have never been our friend. These are like those bosses that are constantly trying to kick you while you're down. No to this, no to that, and they want to keep opportunity at the bare minimum because they don't want you succeeding. Guess what? You quit your job. Go find a better job that is going to offer you better benefits or, opportunities, whatever. But guess what? In the US, that's not how it works. Right? They want to keep you down. So what are you going to do about it? Right? Well, we invest into an asset class that not only defies all of what we see in the traditional world, but also makes everything better than what we see in the traditional world. That's why they are so pissed off, because they don't want to see you succeed. Like rolling up to your old boss's, job site with your Lamborghini, and he's going to be pissed off. You made it, right? That's exactly what's happening here. The U.S. government doesn't want you rich. Jamie Dimon doesn't want you rich. He wants your money. He wants, to earn fees off of you transacting. He wants to earn money off of utilizing your money as a tool in your bank account. That's what these big banks do. They make money off of your money. They leverage your money. While, again, U.S. regulators and U.S. elites are telling you crypto's a scam. These exchanges are leveraging customer funds. Do I support it? Absolutely not. Get your money out of the exchanges. 100%. But how is exchanges leveraging customer funds any different than banks leveraging customer funds? What? Because banks are regulated? Interesting, right? So again, we are seeing a big problem rise within the US I do believe that they're trying to cut off retail fully. I also do believe that the U.S. economy is a complete sham. I don't believe that the banking sector is fine. I don't believe for a second that the economy is strong. We all know that that is a lie. And honestly, the future outlook is not great by any chance. We're going to start to see a lot of big problems with these banks. I'm getting my money out of them. I don't want to have any dollar tied to a big bank because, again, they're all drying up. Liquidity is drying up. And I think that the recent events is a fact around that. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on it because I'm more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.